Okay, recording in progress. You might see something pop up on your side says recording, maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got one. I got one.
yeah. If you do one, just accept to say okay. If you see something that tell
Yeah,
that
and I can
Yes.
see the red sign on the other side
perfect,
there.
excellent. So that means it's recording. All right,
Mm-hmm.
that means it's recording. So I'm gonna start this. Let me see. Bring all my stuff in. Um, Okay, so gentlemen, first of all, let me thank you for participating in this. It means a lot to me. Um, this focus group is conducted as part of a research program being conducted by Marymount University. For any question about this study, you can contact me directly. I'm your facilitator, or the assistant professor, John Jemison, and everybody has Dr. Jemison's email, JJAMISON at marymount.edu. To be eligible for this focus group, participant must be at least 18 years old of age, and you all are. A working professional, you all are, and managing creative project or employees. This session will be recorded, and it's being recorded right now. Participant in this focus group confirms that you have read and agree to the statement of consent provided at the start of the focus group. This study is concerned with your experience managing creativity, project, and people in organizations. We are taking all necessary steps to protect your anonymity and confidentiality. We will protect your privacy and confidentiality as well by removing any identifying information for yourself or your organization from any publication in this research. Although we won't ask for any confidential information, it is your responsibility to know what information is confidential or secret with your organization, and do not divulge it. Do not give us your anything that you think is extremely private. My thesis, it's on navigating human AI collaboration in newsroom, unveiling ethical dimensions and social implications. Pretty much the integrating artificial intelligence AI that we call today technologies into newsroom represent a significant evolution, right? We all know that it's great in journalism. It's impacting editorial decisions, though, making news content quality and the role of journalists. The option of AI from its experimental phases to its current pivotal role has reshaped news production and consumption. So the problem statement here is that the integration of AI in newsroom raises concern about editorial autonomy, journalistic integrity, and the potential displacement of human journalists by AI-driven system. This study aims to explore the ethical dimensions and societal implications of AI-human collaboration in journalism. So we'll take turn answering these questions, all of us, one at a time. I guess I'll start with my first questions is how, and George, I'm going to start with you on this one, on that question number one. How has the introduction of AI technologies influenced your daily editorial decision-making process?
All right, Roger. Thank you for having me, and I wish you good luck. On your daily work and in the study regarding your doctorate. Ms. Thank you so very much.
Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you. You know that you've been my mentor for a long time, and I'm glad to contribute to your preparation. So, uh, on the daily basis, we welcome technology. Technology is a great tool, but um, we need to have some guidelines. I know we're going to go through this during this interview.
Mhm.
So, frankly speaking, right now, the AI, we not use that much AI in my newsroom, in my workplace. We use like wires, AP, AFP, writers, because we are radio and television. But guess what? It's coming. technology is coming. If you don't embrace, it will, follow you. So that's a good thing. And right now, I can say that there's no greater impact or influence on
right,
my work.
on your work at your level. And let me remind that you are also a producer and a journalist at the same time. But Jean-Louis Mafema, you know that some colleagues, some journalists are at least are using at the workplace. They are using Chat GPT, for instance. Some of those I know for fact, in the whole area of your work, some people at least are using artificial intelligence in that sense. And it can be in general or what you think. And if it's not influencing today, what influence you think AI technology, if any, can have on editorial decisions in making process?
Well, first I will say that like AI, artificial intelligence, landed on us basically because human beings are creators. Like apart from any other being, we constantly are searching, creating new things, new technologies, and it's been going very fast. So yeah, artificial intelligence came. So now we are trying to figure out, like the benefit of it and the danger of it, basically. I mean, as far as for my personal editorial decision making, the only way I use it as a research tool basically to find certain information, but then I take that information and then I transform it into something that something I would say or I would think. So yeah, so that's the way I'm using it. I mean, as far as the office is the office is concerned, yeah, not that many people are using it yet. Maybe in a sense of just doing research, but we're not really applying it yet to our daily business because it's not, I mean, I'm sure that somebody's still looking at it and figure out what needs to take place before we even jump on that.
Thank you. PM Pascal, you own a whole school. You have a lot of students behind you as well, and you can and you and IT also professional at the same time. You can already envision what how much influence AI technologies today can have on any daily editorial decision in a news place, for instance. What's your take on that?
Well, I mean, on my side, I'm not a news person and I don't work in a newsroom, but I do see the impact of it on the people that are frequent as far as social media is concerned, because I'm with students and teachers and stuff, and everybody uses TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and X and all that, and the impact is significant because sometimes the videos using AI either to modify what a person says, thinks, or do, and either to skew the veracity or show the veracity of something. And as the tool are becoming more, I'm looking for the term there, more precise as far as imaging is concerned, more precise as far as mimicking an individual. And the worry is that the line are going to be blurred between what's real and what's, well, I hate using that term, fake, but no, not really showing what the situation really was, because somebody can, I mean, the tool of AI can be used in positive way. In movies, for example,
right?
To shorten the movie taking, to shorten the movie making, to facilitate, some action instead of putting human being at risk.
Right.
They can actually mount it to create and make beautiful things, actually. But it can also be used in order to deform or misrepresent or show something that's fake. I mean, we've seen it. Some video or some audio. I mean, as far as the region I am in, now is mostly audio. It's not video yet. You know, I mean, there was I'll give you an example.
Yes.
There was an audio video of a speech that somebody gave that people were saying it was AI was used in order to modify what the person was saying, and that the person that they said was talking wasn't actually that person. You know, somebody used AI in order to modify and use the speech pattern, the voice pattern of the person to have him say something that they really didn't think that it could say. So that's the complicated part. But I mean, we all remember when the computer came. You know, when the computer came on board, and everybody was looking at it funny because people were used to doing things a certain way. And I remember in accounting, for example, you know, when we were starting university, people were worried of using computers because they said that computer will allow you to cheat. Because doing things on paper the old way was better because it was more secure. You know, once it's written on paper, nobody can modify it.
Right.
But the computer will allow you to change numbers, change stuff, but now we see it all over the place. You know, and I mean, now it's a new technology.
It's a new technology.
That's what I mean.
No, say it's a new technology. You're right.
Yeah, it's a new technology. So now it may be going a little bit all over the place, but you know, as time progresses, you know, people will find a way to lock it down and, you know, create, you know, safety and stuff like that, so that, you know, nobody will abuse it. But it's a technology,
right?
You know, and it will go in different ways,
right?
You know, it's going to be used for the good, and somebody will find a way to use it for bad or evil or whatever.
Exactly. I agree with you. I couldn't agree more. And I'm glad you gave us a lot of information on that one. I'm glad you're talking about videos and audio. Just FYI, if the video cut in about 10 minutes, it keeps giving me a message in 10 minutes. I'll resend a new link just in case you see me disappear, because I'm getting messages here. But let me bounce on George. We heard what Pascal PM just said about audio and videos, how that can be altered, how that can be changed. You know, and he thinks that audio is already all over the places. Some people are even talking about video. In what ways, George, and I understand what you're saying, that at your workplace you are not using it much yet, but in what ways do you think AI can impact the quality or accuracy of the news contents today produced in your newsroom, for instance?
Positively, one word. You know, let's, for instance, in Burkina Faso, you know, okay, our target area, DRC Congo, DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, there's a war right now between the M23 and the, you know, government forces. So when you have interview, for instance, with a citizen in Goma, and that person tell you, okay, I don't want my name to be mentioned because of security reason. So you need to alterate kind of the audio. So with AI, it's very easy today. Back in the days, we have to struggle, you know, find a ways, software to alterate that audio. Today, it's a piece of cake, easy. Boom, you have it. But guess what? We just need to be reminding people that, as I said from the beginning, technology is very good. It's a tool, a powerful tool, but we still need the human, you know, guidelines from human being, you know, from us.
Right.
Let me give you an example. When you go, you know, to a grocery store, you have machines all over the place, giant, you know, little, but hey, you start to checking out by yourself. At one point, boom, the machine will tell you, okay, wait for an associate.
Right.
That means what? It means a lot. That technology is a great tool, but we still need the manpower on the side. So to to cut it short, it's very easy today to, AI have a great impact on our daily work.
Right.
But we need to be careful because we need to observe some guidelines.
The guidelines, Jean-Louis, if you want to jump into that for that question, in what way you think AI can or has impacted the quality and accuracy of the news content produced in the newsroom?
Well, it depends on what data is fed into, the whole network, the whole, system.
Right.
Because you might have some old news, that is injected into the system that when you pull information out of AI,
Right.
like it's not as accurate because like depending on when the information was produced,
Right.
that was feed into the system. So that could be that could like lead to less accuracy on whatever information that you're pulling out of it. Yeah. But you can, depending on what you pull, you can create you can actually have quality content,
Right.
that you can get out of the system, but it depends on how you pull the information.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Depending. PM, you want to jump into that because you mentioned how the audio and video not yet so much, but audio, yes. But do you think that can have an impact in the newsroom?
Well, yeah, because when the brother was talking, I started thinking about what I heard a gentleman said one time. I think it was on X.
Right.
He said, "Remember," and I think it was concerning AI. He said, "Remember when before AI,
Right.
you had Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had Google,
Mm-hmm.
and when you type an inquiry on Google,
Right.
and you read on the top, it tell you that inquiry was pulled out of 3 million whatever, because the web crawlers went, and there was a lot of, Google gave you a lot of choices on one subject.
Right.
Because when you ask Google, for example, where can I do this, or where can I find a video of this, it will give you a lot of choices. That means that you had a diversity of information in front of you, and you had a choice. You had a larger choice. But with AI, with the algorithm of AI, when you ask him one question, he gives you one answer. And it depends on the algorithm that was used. It depends on the way it was written. But the thing is, you only get one answer. And that limits the amount of choices that you have. That limits the amount of opportunity for you to actually discover what the truth of what you were looking. You only get one answer. You only get one thing, and that becomes your truth. And it might be the right answer, or it can be it can be the wrong answer, but you only get one answer. The scary part about AI is that the orientation that it gets, or that person when I give that information, it reduces the amount of option that you might have. But then again, like the brother said, it's a tool.
Yeah, like George said, it's a tool.
Yeah,
it's a tool, and it's a good tool, and in good hands, it kind of facilitate. It kind of facilitates stuff, and it simplifies the way we do work. Remember, we're always looking for a way to do things better, faster, and with less mistakes. Because there was a time when, like Ford, he had a whole chain of people doing cars manually, but then somebody created a robot, and it does the same thing faster, with more precision, and with better results. So AI is that kind of tool. It can, as far as people in the newsroom, you don't have to. You can do the work with more precision, better accuracy, and I don't know what to. I can't find a word to say it.
I like those words you're using. Better, the accuracy that you're talking about. But George, to hear what PM just said, George, accuracy, better thing, and you said it's a tool. But I'm thinking, and I don't know what you think, George. I'm starting with you on this one. What's your perspective on the ethical challenges? Because ethical challenges must be there as well, even though it's a good tool,
Oh,
particularly
definitely.
concerning data privacy, bias, and transparency. Right, George?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, PM, if you want to jump in, then I'll let George go. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 definitely. The I mean, the news is skewed per the person presenting the news. The news is I'm trying to find the right the right word, the right combination of words to express
What are you trying to say? Right.
what I'm trying to say
Mm,
is that in everything there is either room for abuse or room to do good.
mm, mm, mm.
So the thing is, uh, AI AI gives more opportunity for people to express their opinion because you can actually, like you said, I mean, there was a time when it was a complex operation. Somebody had to sit somewhere with a computer and start working on speeches but today with AI, it's almost instantaneous. Somebody can take a speech and turn it around in 2 clicks. So
Right.
uh, that's the complex part about it.
Right. That's a complex part of it. But George, what do you think about the ethical part of it?
Well, uh,
George, we can't hear you because George.
AI for the
George,
moment.
okay, let's make it short because
Okay. Yeah,
time
it's
is
recording.
time is yeah.
It's
Yeah,
recording. So let's do
exactly.
something. All right.
Okay.
So anyway, George, yeah, give us that when we talk about the ethical part of it, as PM was saying.
That's a great question, Raja. And I want to tell you right away that there's a challenge at that point. There's issues because AI, as I've been saying from the beginning,
Mm,
no matter what we do with
mm,
technology will or could not replace a human being.
mm,
Okay.
mm,
So we
mm,
need to have some guidelines and we need to have some ethical protection.
mm.
Today, look at today, news is everywhere. We think everything is news. No, everything is not news. And that's why Brother Pascal was saying he doesn't want to say the word, but uh, we are dealing with fake news today because the fake news have they are everywhere. They have inundated the market, the news market, the real news market. So we need to be careful. Let me give you an example. When
Yeah.
there's a African Cup of Nations, the game is everywhere. You have to have the right to sometimes to watch it. But when you go to YouTube, on YouTube, you click, then you have the game. But be careful. AI is playing the game right there.
Mm,
You might not have the real, in the real time, the news coming from the game on the ground. And AI could or can give you a fake news. So we have to be careful. So I think, as I said, technology is a great tool. AI is, I welcome AI, but we need to have some guidelines. And I think those, working in the Silicon Valley in the tech domain, they need to write. And also the state, countries need to come together to have some guidelines to put some protection in place.
that word,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that word
I
is.
got something that I
But
want to add to that.
you want to add to that quickly before I'm gonna go back to George because I wanted him to follow up. But go ahead,
Yeah, no,
George.
the one thing I'll say, like, okay, most journalists, I mean, supposedly, you go to an ethic class, like how to manage the news, how you disseminate the news, how you
Mm,
broadcast.
mm, mm, mm,
So
mm.
we respect a certain standard that we need to do.
Right.
Like for example, when you do an interview, you have to get both sides of of a matter. You get one side and then you get to the opposite side and you get both. You do something balanced. But nowadays the news is not necessarily broadcast by only us journalists, by anybody on social media can create some news. So that's a real issue, and they don't have the same ethic rules that we have, that we abide by. So it becomes a real problem because a lot of people are publishing a lot of things, and so much of it is wrong, is fake, or whatever you want to call it. And like, you think that it's coming from a real journalist, but it's coming from somebody who is looking for something else, which is not necessarily ethical what he does, but he will do it anyway. So that's a big problem.
Yeah, what I wanted to say,
very important, Jean-Louis. Very important what you just added there.
That's what I wanted to say earlier. I wanted to say that before we AI is in a gray area now. It's in a situation when everybody and anybody can use it in order to promote stuff or say stuff or criticize people. But remember, it's a life process, as I like to view it.
It's a life process.
There is going to be a time when everything will kind of like balance out. But for now, AI it's a very complicated tool. It's a complicated in the sense that ethically, it's in a gray area.
In a gray area, and
people can use it. People can and have used it for maybe not the purpose that it was created.
Yeah,
and for in order to push one point, more than the next, or in order to even criticize or just downright insult people or group or things or whatever. And that's the thing. That's the thing we gotta. I mean, that's the thing that the creator and the news people has got to watch out for.
Yeah. And I like when you say the gray area, because that's how it sounds like. But George, let me get back to you before I go back to Pascal. George, how do you see AI affecting traditional roles of journalist editor today? And other news professionals, if I should say, are these concerned about potential job displacement or shift in responsibility? Because it sounds to me, and I might be wrong, George, and you work in the field, it sounds to me like those journalists or those people in the news business who are not with AI are going to be left out as we move.
Yes, great question. As I said from the beginning, AI is a great tool, but we need to be careful. Yeah, of course, there's a challenge, Roger. There's traditional journalism is in a jeopardy today because AI is in a rise, and when AI is rise, we don't rise with him, and AI might left some people on the ground. We still have to observe and to protect traditional journalism. Before you start this meeting, hey, look, I have my note here. Okay, I did a little, my homework before we start this interview. So it's challenging, and there's a threat to traditional roles, traditional editors, traditional journalism. But as I said, either you do it or you are left behind. So this is the challenge that we are facing today. We are living in the digital, age. So, we just discussed it recently during our RM show. We were talking about Black History Month celebration, and we discussed great topics. Jean-Louis, you and us, with listeners. AI roles is great. We welcome AI, but we still need to take a note. Look at it. We were on this meeting. It was moving, smoothly, and at some point we were, drop out. So if we don't take a note, if we don't have a plan B, what should have been happening? No meeting. So we welcome AI. That's my take, my point of view. I might be wrong, but AI is a great tool. Robot is a great tool, but they will never ever replace human being.
PM, you've been doing IT things for many years. Can you see this being threats to the journalism job, the people working in the newsroom, the way AI is moving?
Oh, definitely, definitely. Traditional journalists, a traditional journalist used to be something that you saw at a particular setting, and it was a particular individual. We knew that he's a journalist, he's a newscaster, he's a director, he's a. But today, journalism is on. Journalism has been under attack when YouTube came out, and to that they added AI. That means that somebody can produce. YouTube allowed people to actually say what they had, and present stuff the way they wanted to present. Now kind of gave AI can be in a position to give them the the added tool to push the narrative that can be absolutely wrong. Because let me give you an example. You can actually with AI tool put yourself in a war situation that doesn't exist. You can create a whole scenario and push it out there that is absolutely fake. When Jean-Louis was saying that the journalists have ethics, right?
Yes, the ethics. Yeah.
But now take the regular Joe on the street that decide with a computer to create a whole newscast with nothing but lies and fake news, using AI tools to actually enhance what he's saying. And what is about by showing marches or places or people or event and having those people with an interview. He can have an interview with somebody that exists but wouldn't say what he's saying, and have him say stuff that doesn't make any sense, and he can push it out there, and some people will take that as news.
Oh yeah, as first value, value. Jean-Louis, for you who actually also deal with videos and sound, like Pascal was saying, do you feel like you're in the news business? Do you feel like your job is threatened by AI?
Well, yes and no, because traditional work is being replaced. Like the video editor used to be, for example.
I resume. It's recording. Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
So basically, the video editor job is being overtaken by anybody, because now there's video editor software everywhere and everybody's editing their own videos. So, it becomes a problem. And I've seen something that is kind of, scary for me, is that they have what they call AI influencers. So this guy, you basically, you design a person out of thin air, and it's a beautiful woman with everything, and she's able to lip sync, so she's able to repeat sentences that you write yourself. So you can have that person, so-called journalist, say anything you want, and and the way you present it, the studio looks very professional, and you can put it there, and you think that it's right, it's a real news, but it's not in reality. So all these people, and this is not given in the hand of professional. It's just about any Joe out of the street that can be able to do that. So yeah, it's scary, but there has to come in a way that there's a certain sign that they put on those videos that determine whether this thing is real or not real, because otherwise it's gonna bring a lot of confusion around. So yeah, I mean, the human mind work in a way that like no AI can replace. I feel we have so much potential in our brain that we can do it. It's just that when you get lazy, that's where you lose your creativity, because you want things to be done for you. But you can sit down and create something, but it's gonna take brain work, and that's something that AI will never replace, because AI will take a bunch of facts and put it together, and it might be sounding good or looking good, but it's gonna lack always something. And I've observed a lot of those videos. There's something wrong with the video somewhere that your eyes will catch, but but the normal person will see it. But you can see that there's something wrong with this video, or whatever is said there. So yeah, it's a stepping, it's a stepping ladder where, every time something goes up, there's another thing that will go, higher than that, and the fight will keep on going on, I think. Yeah.
I see George shaking his head when you're talking,
Yeah, I would like.
because George is one of the people who fight for traditional journalism.
Yeah.
So George, I think you would not disagree that AI is actually threatening the journalism job. I mean, we've heard agencies around the world, in Asia, for instance, where there's no need for a journalist to come and sit in front of the TV. They can make up somebody who just coming to read the news, comes and sit and read the news. You think it's a human being, but it's actually AI. So isn't that really taking away, affecting the traditional journalism you're talking about?
Yeah, I think I said that before. But at some point, we still need a manpower, Roger. No matter we do anything we do, no matter what we do,
right?
AI can do a lot, and AI has been doing a lot. That's why we need, as we were just saying, we need the cyber security, okay, to check the original from the fake news. Okay, there's a threat.
Yeah,
I'm confident.
Yeah,
but we need to fight, and that's why we're calling for cybersecurity to come in. I'm a great fan of Rumba music. Okay, I love Rumba music, but today when I listen to today's music, it's what they call computer generated music, right?
Music. Yeah.
There's a huge difference. Before you called me today, I was listening to Fire Test music. She just did a great concert in France, I think in Paris, called Elegance, show. And it's great music. You see her singing, and that was like the 5th or the 8th edition. But when you go on YouTube, you listen to the music that were, coming. They just did it behind Jean-Louis' house right there through computer. There's a difference. There's a big difference. Look, listen to what the 2% OK Jazz in my country, DRC, used to come out with it. It's great music compared to today's music. AI is doing everything because people are in the business. They want to have the money and quickly. But as I said, if you want to do it right, go slowly, put manpower on it, and you will have a great product for the rest of for the world.
For the world.
So there's a threat, I'm certain.
Yeah.
But we need to also have some guidelines, and we need to fight to have a traditional role on the side, because if there's any an error with the AI, we need to come back to the manpower. We call manpower to the rescue, like we just did a while ago.
Yeah, and that's the challenging part. But before I go to PM, George, let me ask you this question. We're getting toward the end. We have maybe 2 more questions before we finish. George, what are the primary benefits and drawbacks, meaning positive or negative, of integrating AI in the news production, according to your own experience and observation? If you can name a few, 1 or 2, primary benefit, or also the drawbacks, the negative.
The benefit is great benefits. We have news and faster. The check and balance is here, but you have to be careful, as Jean was saying. Everything is not news. We need to check. Before when we were in the school, there were no technology like today. You have to rely on the book or your teacher give to you. Listen.
Or your brain.
Yeah, your brain.
Yep.
But today, kids, sometimes they don't want to even carry a book with them because they have everything on to go, on the phone, on the computer, on the iPad. And that's the fight that I'm here in my own house. I used to do that with my kids.
Right.
Your friend Jean-Paul were like, I don't want to take a note. I say, hey, you need a note. I know everything's digital today, but you still need to know how to write, because that's the basic. You need to have that foundation. Otherwise, you will be surprised tomorrow surprised by AI. If AI left you down, then you don't know how to write a single letter.
Right.
You need to know both. That's a great tool. So we embrace, AI. We love AI, but we still also have to take a note to have our traditional way to protect
of doing that.
of doing things.
Right. PM, your take on that? Any drawbacks or any benefits that you see?
I mean, I'm not a news person per se,
but you can think of one.
But yeah, I see that there are some. I mean, I can think that as far as newsmen or newsroom are concerned, I think there is some benefit because you can use it as an extra tool to allow you to make to kind of like ameliorate the work you're doing. But the drawback is like the brother George said, to rely on it and to rely totally on AI, forgetting that you do have creativity, that you can actually create the stuff and use AI as a plus than using AI to just do the whole thing. And that will be the drawback. And become lazy.
Become lazy, yeah.
And forget that you have to do the work, do the research.
Yes.
And but you rather let AI do. Like I remember I was talking to a friend I know, and he said, "Well, why would I want to spend time writing a paper when I can use AI, ChatGPT, to write the paper for me? And all I have to do is just fine tune it and all that." And I said, okay, the reason why they ask you to write a paper is to make you think and do research.
Yes.
So you sit down and you do the work.
Right. You do
that allows you to understand the matter you're treating and understand the work you're doing.
Yes.
But the drawback is you sitting down and using AI to write a whole paper, not having done the research and everything, and you present it, you might get a grade, but you still don't understand what you did and what you're doing and why you did it.
And in this case, when you write paper, let's think of an article, the news article. Since we talk about the journalism, you're right. It's in the same sense. George, you wanted to add something quickly to that. George, I saw you want to add something.
Yeah, I was about to say the use of news. In the traditional way we used to protect. Okay, like a pornographic article you don't put on the internet. But today with AI, everything is there. So that's why I was calling for cybersecurity to be the guideline to protect our children. Today, children are being taken away by AI. AI is doing the brainstorming, telling them, don't trust your book, don't trust your teacher. Everything is on to go on internet. That's wrong. We need to have some guideline. And the benefit of AI and the benefit of also old school rather. One day, that's my own experience. 2 years ago, I was heading to Kentucky for vacation. Okay, behind the mountains, West Virginia mountain, my phone signal were lost, so the GPS went off, and I was with the whole family in the car. How to find a way to go? My first time to go. So what I did, I have a magazines with me. We're doing the magazine, like a travel magazine. So you have hotels, you have places where to go eat. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Kentucky, Louisville. So I took the book. I started looking for, hotels. And I was like, okay, the first hotel in Lexington, then I can go through this. So they put the hotel, they put the address, and then they say, to go there, take exit 1, 2, 3, 5. So that's the way I, got back on the road, and I go to that place, and by asking people, reading sign, So AI is a great tool, but AI cannot resolve all our problems, President.
Yeah, Jean-Louis. Quickly before I ask you, we have another question, last question, 2 questions. What do you want to add something to that quickly? Just maybe one drawback, one advantage on that.
Well, the advantage is that AI can be a great helping tool,
Yeah.
to help you with certain things.
Right.
But the end product should be
Yeah.
coming from you, because that's your, like your gut feeling.
Your
That's
gut
where,
feeling.
like when you're writing something, for example, you
Mm.
might get the information. You might have a conversation with the AI
Mm.
to pinpoint exactly what you need,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, is you.
Is you
The end result is you
is
coming
you
up.
coming.
That's the one of the advantage of of that tool.
Right.
And the drawback will be letting AI completely take over everything that you're
Everything
doing,
that you do, like
because
PM was
for the
saying.
day
Yeah.
the day you won't be able
Yeah.
to have access to that,
Mm.
you are lost. Your brain, is
Exactly.
not working, properly anymore.
And that's what George was also saying about his experience when he traveled with the book, because the
Exactly.
book
Yep.
came out because AI would not think, but the book was there to show him where he was going. So my computer's telling me I only have 10 minutes left. I have two questions left. Quickly, Jean-Louis, jump. If you can jump on this, Jean-Louis. How do you think audience perceive news content generated by AI, assisted by AI? How do you think they perceive that?
Some of them are afraid of it.
Right.
Some of them are afraid of it.
Hmm.
Some of them welcome it, but these are people that they want to jump. Usually, they want to jump quickly on the news as it's
Hmm.
going.
Right.
So they use tools to kind of accelerate the whole
The
process.
whole process.
But
Right.
sometimes, it has to be very accurate. It has to be reviewed before it goes out, because otherwise, yeah, you might end up having some kind of issue with
Exactly.
the
Exactly.
information. Yeah,
Right. Yeah,
definitely.
PM, quickly with that question too. How do you think the audience will perceive news generated by AI? You sitting down as a user, you're watching the news generated by AI. What would you think? PM, can you hear?
Yeah. What? I missed what you said.
Yeah, I said, imagine you're a consumer, you're watching the news. The news is all generated by or assisted by AI. What would be your take on that as a consumer even?
Well, as a consumer, I probably have an issue with it
Mm, mm,
because I don't know. I don't know if it's real or fake.
mm, mm.
I have no clue to uh, the veracity or the potential lies that the news is generated.
Right,
I mean, I'm a I'm a musician, as you know,
right.
and I know that you can actually now. I know that they're coming up with ways to actually write music without writing music.
Right.
That means that uh, you can have you can have an idea of a song. You write a title, and the software kind of like produces something to about what you were thinking, or give you a certain amount of options.
Mm, mm,
But
mm.
the thing is, where I have issue is that you the act of writing music, or the act of creating music, necessitates a certain amount of reflection, inspiration, and kind of like you put your soul into it.
Mm,
And
mm.
but letting a program or a machine do it for you kind of like remove that. And it may be good or might be good, but would you really like it?
That's
Like
right.
like
That's a
like
great question.
like brother George was
Yeah.
saying. There's a difference between there always have been a difference between listening to a record and looking at the person singing live.
Singing live. Yeah,
You know, and
there's always yeah,
there is a feeling you get when somebody is singing live,
right,
then which is different when you're listening to a record.
right, right.
But so just push it to a point when you imagine that song was written by a machine.
That's right. Like somebody George was saying. George, let me end with this question before they kick me out of Zoom quickly. George, let me put it this way. What would you think of contents produced solely, like, I know you mentioned traditional journalism. Let's say those content was only coming from
Yeah. AI.
solely by human journalists. How would you compare that with the news solely produced by AI, the two?
it's very difficult today. Sometimes AI can be tricky. You know, they try to be perfect. They try to do like exactly you should do as a Roger Muntu. But that's why we have to be careful. That's why I was calling on cyber security and I was calling on guidelines.
On guidelines.
And those, you know, those
keep
experts
on insisting on those.
Yes, experts in the technology, they should help us because me as a consumer, I can poor consumers. You know, you listen to news, you watch the news, you don't know if that's a news produced by AI. I was telling you about the game when there's a soccer is going on. Real Madrid is playing against Barcelona. You don't know. You go on YouTube, you see images, they're moving. You think that's the real battleground? No, it's not.
Right.
It's AI.
That's right.
So,
excuse me.
I don't have a lot of time, but quickly. I really don't have a lot of time.
Yeah, quickly. I bring it down to a real simple thing. Yeah. There is always going to be a difference between a meal that is pre-cooked coming from a factory compared to a meal that is cooked by an actual cook.
That's right. And you're a good cook. We know that. That's a good way to finish this one. But let me thank you all for participating in today's study. Again, for question about this study, you can contact our assistant professor, John Jamison, at Jamison at Marymount.edu. If you have any question or concern regarding your right as a participant in this research, you may contact Marymount University Institutional Review Board, IRB, via email, irb@marymount.edu, or phone number 703-566-6898. Again, I really want to thank you so much, guys, gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to participate.
You know, you guys were great. Thank you so much for the time. And George, thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you.
Anytime.